My walk to a freedom group started about 2 years before I ever got here. I realized I had a problem that I couldn't fix by myself. I was acting out sexually, strangers, unprotected, a lot of really poor choices. I was doing it to medicate for the most part. I was sad and lonely, feeling the sting of rejection of a marriage and a partner that really didn't know how to love me. And so I looked for it elsewhere. But then it became more than I could control. We had a sermon here that was talking about pornography, and the entire sermon was directed towards men. And afterwards, I slipped a note to the pastor and said women struggle with it too. It was still probably another year before we had the university, Pure Desires University, come. And that was the first major step to going, I'm not alone in this. And empowering. Just knowing, I didn't even have the group yet, just knowing that they were out there to help. So when I first walked into the Freedom Group, I was a little intimidated, a little scared. I knew I was going to be open in it, but I didn't know everybody, didn't fully trust everybody yet. That totally resolved itself, and these are some of the most important women in my life now and best friends. But the beginning was rough. It's always a little intimidating to open up that much to somebody. But, I'd been looking for help for 2 years at that point. So I went in maybe with a different attitude. I was super excited to finally find hope and help. Very early on in the group, I learned to trust them. As they shared their stories and I shared mine, you knew they weren't going to say anything. They had their own stories and secrets that they were hiding also. So it was a very safe place. So the changes that came from my Freedom Group, again, started very early on. There was a sense of hope and acceptance, forgiveness, and those were within the first couple weeks even. It was not, and it will not ever be, an immediate fix. It's a 2 to 5 year process for healing. And there's been relapses, and they're ugly, but they don't last as long, and they're not as consuming. And there's always hope in that recovery of knowing that there's no condemnation, that when I mess up, he's there and waiting, that he loves me no matter if I'm relapsing or clean for 5 years. I don't want people to think that they have to wait until they think they're an addict with anything. If they've started to think they might have a problem, to start getting help now. They don't have to be to the point where I am or to whatever standard they set for themselves. Well, I'm not that bad yet. They should join while they're still fresh in that, and it's easier to find freedom.